Life isn't always black and white. Somewhere in the grey lies the truth, where perspectives collide and stories connect. Welcome to the Black, White and Grey podcast. Let's have a conversation.
Right, guys. So I've been having a think, and in today's day and age, there's a huge focus on personal progression, career development, making money. And what I want to ask you guys is that how important are hobbies in that process and having downtime, and what do you guys use to escape from your day-to-day, or do you not find value in having downtime at all? It's just about grinding and grafting culture? Because I think that's on socials, that's all you see. It's like, make money, here's how to make more money.
That question's loaded.
It is loaded.
Like, I'm listening to it and I'm
here's the gun, spin it on the table.
Yeah, I'm looking at Anna like, ooh.
Yeah. That was for me. That was for me.
No, I don't know. It could be for me because I'm looking at you like, that's us.
It's for both of you guys more than for myself and Ed, actually.
I'm looking at us like, this is us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in there to unpack.
Yeah.
I would start with, work-wise, it doesn't feel like work to start off with. We know it's work. I know it's work. I know where it's going. But it almost feels like not a hobby. It feels like, it almost feels like you're just doing what you believe to be true to receive the reward at the end of it.
So for you, it's like everything's a passion project. Does the project come first, and the monetary value that comes back is a bonus?
You're doing it for money.
So you are doing it for just right.
You are doing it for money. So you know what you're doing it for, but you're almost creating systems that match your way of life and then some to get the money.
So therefore, your graft and your grind is your hobby.
In one of the businesses. So when you're doing multiple businesses, it can have different purposes as well. So for instance, being a journalist, when I was a journalist, doing the journalism, I loved filming anyway. I love sports. So filming and sports and entertainment,
it's just you.
It's almost like a dream job. So it's just you. The work is actually the hours of editing afterwards till 2 a.m. and getting it out that same
on
day.
Deadlines, yeah.
And hitting those deadlines, or the unexpected thing happens and you just got to move when you're trying to be comfortable. That's the graft. The graft is real. Like you're waiting for, let's say at Anti-Joshua, there's about 52 journalists there. No one cares about you. So you're at the end of it and you've got to be there for 3-4 hours. And then you know you've got to edit it and file it the same day.
And you've got to make yourself stand out within the journalism because 50 other guys are doing essentially the same things you are.
So the graft, that's the graft, right? And that's when it feels like work. But the overarching project just is a dream job. It's just your hobbies, right?
But does it not stop becoming a hobby when it's your work? As in, like, so as I said, for me, and I've mentioned this in a few pods, when I took music really seriously, it became work. It stopped becoming my escape. Is it important to have something in your life that you do that doesn't bring you money?
Do you know, I think it's important for sure, but I think the other side of it, and Anna can touch, you can jump in when you're ready, like in terms of from your point of view. But I think the other side of that journalism life was we also got invited to the parties. So the lifestyle element of being invited to the parties.
So you had everything. You loved the job, and then it brought stuff that you liked from outside of work, which is partying.
And you love partying.
The only work
anyway.
was just the editing, which is with anything. It's like relationships as well. This was a part that you enjoy so much,
and that was like the 20%.
Even having kids, having to wake up in the middle of the night. Do you really enjoy waking up in the middle of the night? It just becomes part of the job, right? Yeah,
and that's what I mean. So we had the other side where we could have the party. So you get the lifestyle elements. I loved the lifestyle elements, so I knew what it comes with. So from that point of view, it was easy to do that job, knowing that the award shows and blah blah, all the other stuff's going to come with it. Yeah. So from that particular business, it didn't matter. It didn't feel like work.
And do you still do a lot of the journalism stuff now?
Yeah, of course. I do a lot of. That's how me and Anna met.
Right.
He was interviewing me.
Done an interview with Anna. So, and that was, I just come back from Dubai, and that was the first, my mate rang me up and said, got an interview to do today, like, what are you doing? I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And it was Anna. And that was me not knowing anything about her. And then she told us her story, and I was like, wow. And that was the thrill of that job. It's just the wow element of hearing another person's story.
Maybe that's a journalism thing as well, right? Because sometimes they can end up obviously of their own choice in like a war zone, but they wouldn't be anywhere else. And you're like, that's hectic. You're obviously somewhere dangerous.
Yeah.
But they want to get to the story, to the crux, to the, to
thrill,
the angle.
The thrill.
Yeah, and the thrill. And like, as you say, like, you could be number 50 speaking to Auntie Joshua, but can you bring something slightly different to the table?
Yeah.
Which I guess is kind of thrilling.
And that's the individualistic part of it. That's the egotistical part. Can I do something that nobody else has done?
Yeah, of course.
And that's the challenge as well. But
true journalism is like a wonderful mechanism, because it's people, essentially, as you say, as individuals going out to collectively bring information, research, truth, value. I mean, I think it's been warped a little bit by kind of modern objectives, but it's pretty good, because it's not like, again, it's not like you're getting safety associated with your job. It's not like you get some of the security of like big corporate life. It's like you hunt what you kill, or you
yeah. And then the other one would be I've created a mental health charity. So now with a mental health charity, it comes with charity problems. And charity problems can feel like work, but then the question you would always have to ask yourself is what you're doing it for. So the actual benefit and the reward of seeing, so it's a mental health charity for children, the benefit of seeing children actually learn and take what you're giving them and then grow from it is more rewarding than the actual work. So again, it doesn't feel like work. You know what the reward is.
But even maybe we're talking about the language of rewards, but maybe it's how you get energy.
Yeah. What about for you? Because you're slightly different to mine.
How so?
No, just work-wise. How do you, based on that question, how does it sit in for you? Like, where do you find
enjoyment? Or whether the enjoyment is important, or that all has to be about money?
No, that's not. Sorry, it's more about having. Is it important to have something outside of your work that gives you downtime? Because I know you work 24/7.
No, for me personally, I think if I was to go to the gym, it's for my appearance, which is going to be public, right? So everything for me has a reason.
Intention.
It is an intention.
But who owns who? Do you own the process, or does the process own you? Because again, going to the gym, I can't think of anything. I changed my relationship with going to the gym, for instance, from being the kind of slave to image or how it should be to like.
That's a very good question.
I want to do stuff that's functional. And if my
how about mental illness? It's good for your mental, right?
No, but that's a good question, because in terms of how it relates to you, it's slightly different, because you've just said you're not doing it for those purposes. It's for image, right? So
let's say for image, I suppose, but also keeps me. It would be the outlet to keep me sane. So then that's the reason for it is purely to make me functional to do more work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Whether it's
So
physical,
you're doing work to do more work.
So it's just I'm going there as a medicine to fix me.
So when do you rest?
To clear my mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, because obviously Michael's got rest within his work, because he's. Well, rest for him is partying.
That's
discharging.
That's not rest. That's not rest. I think that goes to Ed's point. It's an energy charging thing to keep you motivated and spike those cortisone levels.
Have you ever done that thing where, like, I remember we went to Ibiza for 10 days and I went out 9 times.
Bleached.
And I was feeling amazing by day like
no drugs,
7, 8, no drugs.
Fucking hell.
And we didn't drink that much though. But I just felt good. The sun's shining. I'm just like having fun.
That was the saving grace. No alcohol.
No alcohol. Yeah, 100%. If you start picking up hangovers, you're cooked.
I don't drink, so I don't know what a hangover is like.
That's interesting. Maybe that's also part of your productivity, right? Like
But then I also
do you drink?
I've never had a hangover in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
You don't drink that much either, though.
Unless you're like a chemist of
I have
alcohol.
drunk before, as in pretty heavily. But then
that's good.
Might be those Chinese remedies.
Well, no,
the boiled egg comes out.
I was going to say to do the boiled egg.
I don't want any of this.
No, but to be fair, I just have the hangover the night before because of the Chinese genes.
Oh, fair.
So when I wake up, I'm fresh, but I feel awful when I go to sleep.
That's the best way.
headaches,
Yeah.
headaches, feel a bit sick, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm good.
Ready.
And I remember, I think, just to go back to the point, one thing that you said when we interviewed you, which I found very interesting, is working 24/7 is Anna, right? But it's the thrill-seeking part of her that is so quick. That rush is so quick, it's enough to fulfill you. And I remember that. It was almost like, I think it was parachute jumping or something like that. And then it identified that all she needed was a rush of endorphins and chemicals rushing through her body to say, I've had my fun, now let's get back at it.
In what sense?
Exactly what I've done. When I went to Dubai, I went purely just to get the skydiving sorted. And it was a random thought. I think being sort of impulsive also,
Yeah,
I like, because
You're
I booked a
super
flight
impulsive.
2-3 days beforehand. I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. Got on a plane, go there. I was, the whole time I was in Dubai, I was in the bedroom working. The only time I got out was to get the
Skydive done.
Get that
finished
medicine.
done,
That's so
came
funny.
back. But do you know, like, Lewis Hamilton has like hundreds of skydiving.
Yeah.
I'll say
He's a
hundreds.
thrill
But
seeker.
I can see
I don't
that.
know
It's
the
probably too
exact
slow
number.
for him. He's probably like, what,
But he
terminal
does it
velocities?
often. It must
Slow.
be to balance, right? I don't know.
It's definitely balance. I think it's the rush of going to do it. Like skydivers, my friend's a stunt skydiver. That's what he does. And he said he can't wait to jump. In my head, I've never done it. I'm like, meh, you're on your own with that one, mate.
Yeah.
But it's once you do it, he said, trust me, you're going to want to do it again. And that's probably it for Lewis. It's like the thrill of, I can't wait to get back up there where it's peaceful, where it's this, whatever it is for him, it takes him away from the noise.
Or it's kind of constantly replugging you into like the most real life can get, which is being thrown out of a plane where your brain's like in full.
Yeah.
It's like your ability to think your way out of it and go, well, it's just a skydive is really tested.
Yeah. Because you're going, one thing he said to me, right, when you first go up, he said, I was sitting there, you're in the plane and you go up.
So
You're already
funny.
nervous. Your belly's already doing the thing. He said, as soon as the door cracks open and you feel the breeze.
The door was open the whole time.
Yeah, but
Like,
see, here's
same line.
Here's one, it wasn't. And he said, as soon as the door cracked open, that just altered the whole mindset of,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. No
Yeah,
more.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
you're getting
Was he-
shuffled.
This
Was
is
he-
with the first jump.
The first jump.
The very first
I
one.
did it last year,
Yeah.
the skydive, and
where did you do it? Here in England?
yeah, it's like down in
Does
Dorset.
it even matter where you do
Dorset
it? It's like,
somewhere.
as long as it's like, as high.
You haven't
It's
done it,
high.
have you?
Yeah, I did it last year.
Oh, you've done it
And
as well?
I did it when I was 19 as well.
I'm the only one that hasn't done it.
Yeah, I did it in
I'm
Austin.
still, let's put you on the pod and
I'm still
throw you
happy
out a
not
plane.
to. I'm still happy not to at this moment.
We're like, I did the highest we could properly get to in the UK, but you're strapped to someone, right? So like, I'm not
Yes.
just jumping.
Oh, so it's not just
And
a
I-
solo
Yeah,
jump.
tandem, yeah.
But I think that takes the fear out of it. So I wasn't
Yeah,
scared
I agree.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Because you
that,
put
that
your hands
helps
in
out a
somebody
lot.
else, in a professional's
Because
hand.
if I was told to jump,
By myself.
I don't know if I could have done it.
But
But
then it's not real skydiving.
but
then.
then-
Well,
if it-
it's
So
full.
would you do bungee jumping then? Because that's on your own. You have to jump in your
I'll
own.
do it. But I'll do a sky. I wanted to skydive by myself. After I did that tandem, I was like, I want to do this myself.
Oh, because you've done the first part and then you realise how thrilling and great it is. So
It's
now
just
you
more
can...
packing your
Correct.
own parachute and trusting all the technicals.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I'd be able to trust myself, nor even trust someone else to pack
In my head, yeah,
technicals.
if I black out and I'm just like, jump out and I black out, who's going to pull the cord? Like, in my head.
No, I
All
get
these
that.
things going in my head.
So for me,
What if I spin?
So it's
How
about
do I get out
control.
of the
So it's about
spin?
control. It's like you may not have control over that situation.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit fearful of losing control.
You could do a fixed line parachute.
Understandable.
You can jump like they do in the army, and it will also pull your parachute once you get like a couple of, like 100 foot from the plane or something, and it will just, and then you get the thrill of, because the whole thing with skydiving, which everyone says, is like 3 seconds, and then when you get terminal velocity, you're hovering basically. As far as your
Yes.
brain's concerned,
Yeah.
I will
everything's
say
stopped.
though, there's a lot of air in your mouth. Like you can't breathe sometimes. You're there like because so much air is rushing into your mouth.
Yeah.
You're breathing. It's forcing you to breathe in more.
Yeah.
Right. But as I said, when I was jumping, I was sitting there thinking, well, I don't feel scared at all, and I don't like heights that much. But I was there like, oh, this is fine. And then, as I said, when I jumped, you kind of like, so he takes you to the edge of the plane and he just tips you out because he's coming with you. It's a
Yeah.
tandem. You're not allowed to skydive
Yeah.
by yourself, right? As in at first.
Yeah.
So then I was like,
But I asked my instructor. I was
fine.
like, oh, what are you making conversation? Just like coming down for the end bit. I was like, oh, did you still enjoy it? He's like, I've done 7,000 of these. And I was like, does anything give you a thrill? He's like, yeah, base jumping.
Yeah, I heard that actually.
Yeah, he's
What
like,
is that?
Base
Base
jumping is when you
jump-
jump off
jump off-
a building.
Jumping off buildings.
And
then
that
and then
scares
putting a
him.
parachute. He's like, no, that gives me a thrill.
But base jumping is because everything feels quicker. It's a shorter. It's impact. Like everything's quicker. You can see the floor.
If your parachute doesn't pull, you're dead.
You're done.
You're dead. You try and jump.
Because
Off
you've
the
got no
top
time.
You've got no time. You get one shot.
But base jumping, you've normally got the abseil wiring. You know.
No, they will just it'd be like Canary Wolf Tower. They will jump off it and then pull,
Land
and
on-
you can get pulled back into the buildings. You can get
Exactly. I was thinking you can get tight.
That's the professional ones you're talking about.
like these guys are like.
Oh, interesting.
So they've minimised the thrill time and they've shortened it.
It's interesting what I am seeing differences between how you guys do these things, right? Because yours is almost like the adrenaline shot of like, how do I? It's honestly quite American. It's like, how do I prescribe the solution I need to the problem to get me back to
In as short time as
Just
possible.
give me the
short time.
adrenaline.
Yeah, it's
shot.
like something you
Short
can
time
just go,
He's in the
as
army.
well.
boom,
Yeah, boom.
or like a little like little implant in your brain that sort of just goes like, here's your hit of dopamine, right back to work.
But then you've also said that you'll binge Netflix.
Now for the past 6 months, I've used it as a background noise
While doing other things.
while doing other things.
That's not a hobby, I guess.
As I haven't
It's not
been,
a hobby.
I haven't been like I'm gonna sit there and watch something. I haven't done that yet.
Fair.
And I think I've been craving to go to the cinema, which is something that I really do enjoy.
But then you're very conscious of time.
Yes.
So you think of that as like, right, it's like
What's
3
the
hours.
shortest film I
Yeah.
can find?
It is a waste of time.
3
man.
hours of my day just gone.
yeah.
I'm all for that. It is a waste of time. That's how it
cinema.
feels to me as well.
Cinema or just
But I would make a conscious decision to waste that time.
Yeah,
I
as
think that's the difference
Yeah.
between me and Anna. I will make that conscious decision, whereas Anna will still be bothered that she's made the conscious decision to waste
I'll
the
walk
time.
out the cinema and I'll be like, oh,
That's a waste
I
of time.
could have done a couple of more things.
Yeah.
But only maybe it's just the period I'm going through at the moment because I'm really stressed. But
Have you always been like that?
really stressed. And
No,
time,
as in-
time conscious.
I always multitasked, yes.
But does it make you feel? So we talked in a previous episode about
Yeah.
like root culture, and it went back to like Portugal,
Yeah.
and it went back to Angola. It's like, do you see people in those cultures who fundamentally don't have that mindset and go, we've got time for family, we've got time for, and how do you look at that and go, they're just wasting their time? They may go, actually,
Oh no, I don't have any judgment.
no, it's not
on-
about judgment, but it's like
Yeah.
they may go.
Yeah.
The most important thing to life is sitting down and having a meal with your family, not going, this is a waste of time. I need to get back to doing stuff, because like, well, where is stuff? Where's the end result of all this success?
I don't know, man, but it does feel like a waste of time. I mean, I sit there sometimes, like, I might go for dinner. I'm just like, fuck, what am I doing there? It's just a waste of time. Like, I sometimes I feel like
I have
that.
like 3 dinners this week booked with my friends, which I pushed as much as I could for like 6-7 months of not doing it.
I'm with
And
you.
then now this week I have to really do it, and it's on a Thursday, and I'm like, but I've got a podcast, but I've
Yeah,
got the
like, it
dinner. I
just
was
feels
like,
like a
I
waste of
couldn't
time.
really do the podcast at that time, but I'm still gonna do. I'm gonna try to fit in
Well, no,
both
Thursday's not. But yeah, I see your point.
somehow. But then I've got lunch as well. I was like, well, that lunch I really
I
could have
agree.
just closed the
I
case
agree.
and done something.
But then-
and it's like me making that time for them is really
It's hard.
It's tough. Not because I don't enjoy the company. I love my
It's nothing
friends.
to do with them.
But then I'll be like, then
It's just
I'll be
because I've
like,
got stuff
great.
to
So
do.
there's an output here, and I'll try and like, you may as well learn like Python coding or something, and make sure like you don't have to respond to a single email. It's like, if you want to be super efficient, like
Just so
condense
you
all your-
know, I've set up automations with make.com.
yeah,
So
fine,
there's
fine.
shit that I don't have to do.
Yeah, I respect that, but it's
I'm
like
doubling the
So-
time.
But to answer your question, I don't judge if somebody has a different priority. My family members have like a close family member. I won't say the name before I get sued, but that person has several kids and all.
Yeah, it's no judgment. So
It's
not
just a
wrong.
different lifestyle to what I choose, and I'm like, I hope she don't look at my lifestyle and think I chose my path to be different, and it's okay.
Go on.
Team
Go
up.
on. Go on.
Team up.
My point. It's tough for me because what is the end goal of all of this, right? So
And
The
you've
end
been
goal.
forced to do shit and learn shit from a young age, where it's like
Yeah.
on you. So you've been the byproduct of.
Yeah, so I'm sitting
So
there
the end
thinking,
goal,
Hey, give me a sec.
go on. Sorry.
I know a lot of people that are very wealthy,
Yeah,
but then they've sacrificed so much to get there.
Yeah.
And then when they've got millions, they sit there and like, they're now reaching out to old friends and they're like, oh, hey, like, because first of all, they can't trust people around them because they don't know if
True.
they're there for money or not.
true.
And they've been burnt,
Yeah.
right? And then they're reaching out to old friends like, oh, how are you? But then they've moved on with their lives because you've not kept in touch because you've sacrificed so much to get where you are.
Yeah.
It's the end goal, not. So for me, when I've started the business and making money,
I've got an answer for that.
the
by
end
way.
goal is for me to be able to support my family, be able to have a family,
Yeah.
and obviously still have my relationships around me. I want everyone to be elevated with me, which is a
Yeah.
selfish thing to a certain extent, but I don't want to be the only one winning. I want everyone to win around me so that we can experience it together. If you've sacrificed that to get there, and now you've not been going out for dinners with friends, for example, but obviously you're doing that, but then what's the end goal? That's my point.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Okay, so for me, I think some of the I've been, so let's say that you're going to do law, and law you don't become rich from. It depends which law firm you're going to go to, because I've known quite a few extremely wealthy lawyers, but I'm saying technically, usually you would just become a middle class person, right? If you're going to become a doctor, you get 60 grand a year, you have your family, blah, 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 blah. But those professions still requires you to sacrifice so much time from your family.
Correct.
And from your loved ones, or from doing the things that you enjoy, like hobbies and stuff. So my friends that are doctors, they constantly studying, and they have to block literally time where it's just them and the profession, or the aim, the goal is to become a doctor, which you forever learning for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I don't think there is an end to my chase, to my yearning to be better or to do more. Or it's not just about the money. I think the money comes from a childhood trauma of not having enough to eat sometimes. So then that is like, I'm never going to go through that again. That's the fear. And I think Kevin Hart said it once as well. You just never, ever want to go back to that moment. But I've been trying to multitask by still trying to stay in touch with some friends. But my friends and family members know that there are times that I'm just single-minded. And I think after I had a chat with you guys this couple of days ago, I went to my family members. My family member was like, you know what you need to do? You need to go back to being like single-minded in the room if you want to make this, if you want to make this podcast work. You just need to become that person. You can no longer... You have to be single-minded, because that's what got you here. Single-minded, like from law school, I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I wouldn't see my family members for like weeks on end. But they knew that all I needed to do is just pass the exam, and I'm not really like studying. So
the flip side of that, though, for me, is I grew up with my friends, so I had all the values. I grew up in the parties, creating an industry, playing football. One of my actual best friends became one of the best athletes in the world ever. Like, that was it. So I grew up having fun through the process. So to flip it on its head after the fun, what have we really got, right? So as a person, after the fun, I've seen my friend just be successful. What have I really got? And that's what drove and drives me to
you need your own story. You're not a sideman.
Yeah. So I'm now looking at myself saying, well, I've got all the skills. I've helped him get there. So that was my sacrifice technically. So I've sacrificed myself for my friend. But within that, I've also created business through it. So now I'm like, right, I'm here. What do I want? And now it's like, where's my freedom? So then the financial freedom of what I can potentially do for my family.
I relate to that in terms of what you're saying is like, great, everybody's living their story, and like, especially when you're in a journalistic situation, you go, I'm documenting
everybody's
your story.
Life. Yeah,
I'm interesting by association, because I know Auntie Joshua's story. I've spoken to Lewis Hamilton. Where the fuck is my story?
And some people don't want that.
Yeah, but your story could be, I've always wanted to be the best journalist, and I just want to be the Pulitzer Prize winning whatever, like, does that. But you're right, like sometimes you sit there and go, I'm picking up all these interest points, but like, how do I connect that to who I am?
To who I am. And it's a lack of identity. So you might lose identity in the process of chasing everybody else's around, chasing them around the world, and you lose yourself, and you'll stop. Lockdown will do that. Like when COVID happened, and you'd sit there and be like,
but then who am I?
But that's what concerns me about some of the things that you've said is like, I've done it for X, and X is not something you've chosen. X is a spotlight going, hey, your life would be better if you look a little different and go to the gym for this reason, or hey, something will be better if you do. I think you're right to go back to your core value set of going, I'm just going to get on it in the way that feels most familiar to me. But it's just like, I guess at all points in time, I think Brendan probably made a point. It's like, there's no room. There's like being articulated is like, there's no room for hobbies. And what I like about what you said is actually something my partner said is, and maybe this is a bit unfair, but this is like almost like an inherently collective first mindset my partner will have from her, like her roots from my mum being Chinese. She goes, I don't think that I succeed. I succeed as a proxy of all the actors and players in my life. So I can't stand there and go, I'm a millionaire, I'm a this, I'm a that. It's like I'm a nothing unless other people are helping check me, feeding me food, you know.
But that's also a byproduct of what Brendan was alluding to in terms of probably culture and how they've been brought up with the whole idea that we do this together, right? Whereas from my culture, even though we share similar values, you're very much on your own.
Yes.
So you very much got to do it yourself because there is no hand-me-downs.
There is nothing.
There is no one to hand you down to you.
Absolutely.
So
zero.
therefore, it's just you against you at the end of the day.
Whereas
Always
Chinese is all about generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
Being able to pass down to your kids and la da da.
No,
and then
our culture is, well, for me, I was taught you need to become something to come and help me. You need to be that person to help us. And don't forget us once you get there, because you've got mouths to feed.
But which is going to be like
if you fail, everyone looks at you like, but who else are we going to rely on?
Yeah.
You were the only one we had.
You've become the one, right?
Yeah.
The prodigal child.
That's what do you think we've been training you to be?
Yeah.
Go out there and make money.
And bring it back.
Like as a there's like an algorithm in here, right? Which is like over time, which would be a more successful strategy for all the boats to rise with the tide? Is it taking lots of bets on a front runner to then prop everybody else up and hope they can keep maintaining that? Or is it resource sharing and having people be good at their certain skills and collectivizing?
But here's the thing, right? We are now in a space of time where we can, especially us two, can look at that method and adopt it and apply it and put it into our way of doing it. And that's the space of time that we're in. And you guys can do the same. Do you know what I mean? So now we can use all the correct ingredients to potentially, like you said, rise with the tide together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. But I think the mindset will still potentially reset to default, which is singularity first.
To be fair, I will say.
So
that you get there.
Because,
that's the only way for you to focus enough for you to get there.
Where's there?
And you probably got there
by
doing.
But where's there, guys?
I wouldn't have got there if I didn't.
There's the grave.
But there.
There's the grave. There is the grave. I promise you that.
Hear me out. There changes. There is just the goal.
But the there that does not change.
But we're all going to die.
We're going to die.
Yeah.
So the grave's there for all of us.
We heard last week of a guy who's a loveliest guy, an entrepreneur, part of a little group of a big group of founders called Josh. And he grew up in Hackney. He created his own like sort of PT business and then got into social media marketing. 31, he was training, he died.
How did he die?
Literally don't know yet. He was out in Vietnam, probably a heart attack, but he was out in Vietnam, he was training, and then he's dead.
There's one thing that I...
So there's like footballers die.
No, there's one thing...
Football managers die.
There's one thing that I've learned with so many deaths in my life, right? And it's... Sometimes the way a person dies, you don't know their backstory of how they were living.
Yeah, he might have been
and the stress or whatever
owe people money or...
And we don't know that. So taking it for what it is, just on the surface, that is more you saying he was working, got to 31 and had an unfortunate moment and has passed.
Well, what was sad is he sent an email that morning going, guys, I don't know how to prioritize. Is it my business or is it going to be training? And like, does anybody have any inputs on how I can better allocate my time?
He sounds like he was under stress.
Yeah, and then you look back on it and you go, he emailed that morning and had he known that moment was coming.
But maybe he did. That's why the email got so. And these are all the maybes that we don't know because the person's not had to tell the story. But in the same breath, going back to the original question and my answer, I don't see my work as stressful.
Mine is very stressful.
It's a lot. It's very full. But then I think my mental health background gives me the principles of just put a pin in it and let some of the air out. And I might be doing nothing.
Well, how about, I think my mentality is adopted by Will Smith. He said, I would rather die than not get there. I wanted to find out. And if I'm not going to find out, I'd rather
Well, he's
just
got
not
there,
be here.
where he's got to is.
So, but his mentality to be able to get there, he was like, I'd rather die. So there needs to be some singularity there to get you to places where,
And age as
like
well
Kobe
probably plays a
Bryant
role.
was the same thing. He was like, there's nothing else. He didn't even want to associate with people that were lazy or that were in a different path to what he chose. Or there are so many like amazing athletes that were like that. Michael Jordan actually said on his documentary that he wouldn't have got there unless he had done the sacrifice that he had to do. But your family, which my family understand, like my mom, my partner, everyone understands this is who I am and this is how I function. If they wanted to see the best of what I'm going to give, they know that, okay, I'm not going to see her for I'll be home, but I just won't be present.
But so
be present.
How is Elon Musk there?
So he's not. He's got loads of kids and he's not there.
But we don't know. We don't know, right? But the point is, he's like on an order of like if you take the point is, there's a multiplying effect, right? Isn't he's hundreds, or if not thousands of times more successful than the average millionaire?
Yeah.
And yet you'd think, well, he's not using 100 to 1,000 times more free
He is.
time.
I read his book. I've
got an answer to that.
And he said
book.
he sleeps in his boardroom because
But he still only has 24 hours in a day. He doesn't have
I've got
2,000,
I've got an
400
answer
hours.
to that.
No, but he's never present. That's
No,
why he
I've
got
got an
divorced.
answer. I've got a generic answer
I read
to
his
that.
book.
No, forget about all of that. Elon Musk is one person out of 8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry, I don't think I can look at one person out of 8 billion and nobody's been like him and say, well, that's the general conciseness of potentially how it works. I would say...
Or the blueprint.
The blueprint. I would say if you look at the 100,000, the millionaires plus and look at that blueprint, I would rather take those stories into more account.
There was a good audiobook on that, right, which was talking about like unremarkable millionaires. And most of it was like actually being financially prudent, saving some money, putting it into compounding. Quite boring stuff, but like the unremarkable people who just kind of lived within their means.
So there's a model that you can
and that was
use,
reliable.
And that's what I mean. I'd rather take that than us looking at these super celebrities, so to speak, that are one-offs, the Jeff Bezos, that timing was everything, and so many other circumstances that aided that process and made it happen. Instead of looking at them, we should look at the unremarkable millionaire.
Yeah. But I think I read the Steve Jobs story, and he said that he's convinced that Apple killed him, gave him cancer.
Probably.
The stress that he had from Apple, the stress that he had from running that business, and he's convinced that that's where the cancer came from. Even though the man ate really well, was really disciplined with his diet, did everything out well, he's convinced that the stress, you know.
And there is also a thing of lack of sleep and stuff like that, so your body doesn't repair itself.
Correct.
So then going back to the point with the drive to work, if you're not doing some of the functional stuff to look after your body, which is your temple, ultimately it catches up with you, and the end result could be death.
Gets closer.
But if we are working 24/7, and just because we don't have a hobby, it doesn't mean that we're not having fun, we're not looking after our body, and we don't sleep. And I think they're probably the things that nobody really talks about.
But you don't sleep.
And we do sleep.
You sleep probably dramatically less
5 hours is enough for me.
That's my point. This is exactly my point.
And scientifically, they say that 5 to 6 hours is fine.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's my point.
How much time do you guys sleep?
No, I also don't sleep very much.
Arnold Schwarzenegger said, well, we should learn to sleep a little bit faster. I love
sleep faster.
He said, sleep a bit faster.
But it don't make sense.
Because he said that he used to have 24 hours, and he used to really, that each hour was accounted for him to be able to achieve what he's achieved.
You sleep less anyway.
Yeah.
So and I think who's to say it's right and wrong anyway? Like the amount of hours my body works with.
Yeah, you might be built different, right? And I think some people have different biological stress tolerances, and they won't have autoimmune response.
And there's a thing like if you look at like some of the oldest people in the world, they're from the Asian countries, and their diet is not corrupted by processed foods.
Correct. Yeah.
So if we're going to look at a timeline of working hard being the cause of death, is it, or is it in the food?
Apparently there's like a city in China, or a village, let's call it a village, definitely a city, and everyone just lives over 100, just without doubt.
Well, mate, my grandma lived to a month before her 106th birthday.
Yeah.
And she didn't do anything special. Like, do you know what I mean? She just
and then there's people that smoke and drink that live for a long time. So we can look at all of these factors, and this is what I mean about looking at people that die early. We don't really know what was going on in their body. So it's difficult to just put it down to working and not having...
So I've got a good question for you.
Go for it.
So these kids that you're bringing up with mental health.
Yeah.
If one of them asks you, do I need hobbies? What can you tell them?
So I think the danger with young people is looking at the type of young person you're dealing with. So if they're very isolated from their social, then you want to try and encourage them to be a little bit more sociable. So having a hobby will aid that.
It's
And
like
then it will,
byproduct.
yeah, it's a byproduct. And then it will allow the emotional intelligence to be developed. You don't want them to isolate that, because ultimately emotional intelligence is probably the one product that you need growing up as an adult that
Absolutely.
will save you. So that would be it. It would be purely and simply circumstantial based on the individual.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that would be it.
So realistically, what I've realised from this conversation, and obviously I haven't heard from myself or Ed.
Yeah, for
We
sure. I would love to hear. I would
Yeah,
love
but
to
we knew
hear.
this anyway. But then, from what I gather from you guys, it's really, there's no one size fits all. It's all about priority in life, right? So if my priority, for example, is having really good people around me, having my family, having my friends,
Yeah.
then I may not want to adopt
Yeah.
Anna's lifestyle,
Yeah. 100%.
for example.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to what Ed was saying about the energy being charged, right?
Yeah.
My
It's
energy
where's
is
your-
charged when I'm working.
Yeah.
Whereas my
it's
energy is charged when I'm
community,
working with
family.
someone or in some sort of relationship, as in whether that's friendship, whether that's
Yeah.
family, whether that's
Yeah.
my partner.
And I don't really like people. So I like
Yeah.
having too many
Well,
people around me.
But
kind
then
of.
you do.
I don't really
But
like
I said that to you, right? I said this before. Like, I love people.
Yeah, yeah.
But because
You
9
love the
times out
energy.
of 10 they let me down, I hate people.
But
it's
you love
almost
the
like-
energy of people,
It's
though.
kryptonite, right?
Like,
So it's like I need it,
you need the energy.
but
Like every time you party, every time you rave,
having too much of it,
you can't do it on your ones.
but it also drains me because I give it back 10 times more.
I've got one as
Comes
well. So I've noticed, Anna, you're quite energized by people's stories. You'll hear an inspiring account of like a Kobe or whatever and go, oh my God, like, what's that process? How do I get that DNA? You've obviously interviewed a decent number of like well-to-do, successful people, but you don't seem to get energized the same way. You know, you don't go, Lewis does this, therefore what does Lewis do and how do I follow that? So it'd be interesting to know, am I correct in stating that? And why don't you get dialed up by that in the same way that maybe you do?
I get inspired by people because I think I liked role models when I was younger. I didn't have many people doing well.
And I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
I grew up with
Role models.
somebody who created, and I was part of a process, so I got to meet all of these people. So it takes away from the thrill of how amazing they are.
So do you
'Cause
see
I
them as
both
also
sides.
imperfect as well? And you go, look,
100%.
you're an avatar. Behind the scenes, I know it's a bit of a shit show, but
It's not. It's not. It's not so much. It's a shit show. Like meeting Lewis was like Lewis Hamilton at the time was like, wow. Hearing Lewis's story and then hearing how this man speaks, you're like, I can see why you are the best. Without the work, I can see mindset wise why you are the best. But then you'll meet a Usain Bolt who has the same similar mindset, but is also fun partying and going. And then I'll be in the club with Usain and we're going. But Lewis Hamilton might not be in the club. And it's just chalk and cheese of their approach of who they are as people, which goes back to what they value down
In
here.
life, yeah.
But the mindsets, which is what Anna's always feeding on,
It's
is
mindset.
always the same. It's always the same. The top 1% have the same mindset. And that's the difference. So it's easy for me to listen to them and be like, oh, I get it.
what I think is a bit.
Sorry, but you don't listen to them and be like, I need it. As in
Oh,
for
no, I
yourself.
do. But it doesn't, because I've been so close to it, as opposed to reading it and hearing stories online, I've been close to it firsthand. It is what it is.
'Cause-
I've just got to take it.
Because it's a bit like parents, right? When you grow up, you think your parents know everything. You think, wow,
That is true.
they are the gods of my world, right? And then you grow up and you're like, but they're also just human. And
Yes.
they're all just growing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all still growing up,
They're children
Yes.
growing
right?
up.
Still children growing up. Like if I had kids now, I'm still going to be a kid that's growing up.
Yeah, facts.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning.
Adults, children growing
I
up.
don't, I don't
Exactly,
place
and-
celebrities in pedestal. Like to say like, oh, they're gods, Kobe Bryant or the Michael Jordans. I really just extract what make them great. And I find that inspiring. I think when I met
That's your
Brendan,
fuel though, isn't it?
That's fuel.
When I
yeah,
met
but the point is it
Brendan-
energizes you, right?
when I met Brendan for the first time and he did a cappella for us at his dad's house.
Seems to do that often.
Great
don't it?
singing, great singing. And then he then actually had some beats as well. But then you got the guitar. And then I was fascinated by the fact that he was so talented. I didn't want to do the same thing as him, but I was just like, wow, this guy is
He's
so
in awe of his
good.
skill set, yeah.
And then I saw pictures of his dad. Was like, oh my god, he can do this, he can do that. His dad was obviously before he arrived to the house, he was like talking so highly of him. It's like God's gift. And then I was like, wow. And then I saw like the pictures of him dancing, and I was like, wow, this guy had the experiences that I haven't had. I was just like, I was amazed by it. I think I can't wait to meet. And when he came in and he was busy singing, and I was just like, I got home for like a whole week. I was just telling everybody about this guy. He can sing and he can do this, he can do that.
Okay.
Because
Cute. Thank
because
you.
no, but it's just finding that. I find anything fascinating. Like sometimes my partner jokes about it with me because like, oh, everything for you is just. Even if I don't vocalize it, I don't say it. I was like, I found something really intelligent. I'm like, oh my god, that person's so intelligent, and I'll talk about that person for a while, and then there's jealousy that breaks up. It's like, oh, something about that person. But anyone I find that is slightly outside of what I was used to or the norm, and I'm like, wow, it's just.
I get that. You know, it's about.
Just like what?
I think that's why networking is so important and people are so important. So, being the reason I got to where I was doing all those things. Every time is because I got reality checked and I got thrown into a giant pond as the smallest fish in the sea.
It's like always
Right.
became
Whereas
humbled.
when it's getting humbled is what pushed me every
Yeah.
time. Dancing wise, I was in, there's certain leagues of dancing, right? A bit like there's certain leagues of football. Like I was top of one league and I was winning all the competitions. You're like, oh yeah, I'm the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this unlock. It's not even that hard, right? And then you get thrown into the next league that you didn't even really know existed, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh man, I suck, right? And then you have to make that decision of, do I give up now because I'm so far from the top? Because you've just been culture shocked, you've been shocked by you, as I said, humbled. You're sat down because you're like, you're not even close. Or do you elevate and fight for it?
It's
right?
that delusion.
elevate.
It's that, and that's what it
Elevate.
is. That's the drive for me. So it's not hearing the stories. It's being
thrown into
humbled,
it. Yeah.
it's being humbled, and then it's like, oh no, that's never happening again. I'm elevating.
So that's every time I've had an elevated.
100%.
That's the same with
Always.
me. Every time I've had a push of growth and progression, it's always because I've been somewhat humbled, and I would say I've been brought up to be humble, right? And I'll never boast about myself. But then you always have this inner knowing of what you're good at, right?
But that's where the delusion, I think, has to kick in, because there's an element of manifestation in that process where you have to tell yourself you are the best, and that is the fuel.
Until you realize you're not, and then you have to be the best again.
Yeah.
But
I
you're always the best. You're never not the best. This is the thing. There is no turning off of being the best. I am the best. That's it. It's just another lesson of life that I've got to learn.
That's subjective, right?
That is subjective.
But
like,
it's for me.
But for me, say I think I'm a great go-kart driver.
Yeah.
I'll be the shit when it comes to my family. And then I'll go into a club race and lose. I'm objectively not the best.
On that day. But as a person,
I would go back and become the best.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But that's my point, right? Every time I've grown, it's because I've realized I'm not yet the best.
I think
I think that's just what we're doing is wording. Because you still believe you've got it to be the best, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you are still the best. You're just not the best.
You still believe that you could
at
be
that time.
But at that time,
So
you realize
I'm living it. So I'm saying I am the best, and it doesn't matter whatever's happening in the middle. Today, I just wasn't the best. I am the best.
Interesting.
There's a slightly different in sort of boot sequence as to how you're getting there. As you say, you're kind of carrying through of like the belief will set the tone under which the skills will meet, and you're saying, got to take the lessons, got to refactor how I'm approaching this, and got to up the skill level. But
Correct.
you kind of are both willing to put in the work and the skill.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting about alignment of the subjective best as it pertains to ourselves and reality and work is firing basketballs at a hoop. Basketball's obviously a complicated game, lots of different variants of it, is very metric driven. There's like very clear feedback in points, and sport does this really well. Life, not quite as well, I think, because you don't, largely speaking, the best tennis players in the world are completely responsible for what goes on the court. You trying to like get a deal over the line with a business and something else, it's just a bit more messy.
Yeah.
And are you playing the right sport for yourself? Well, who knows? Because we're not exactly sure in business.
That's a whole other thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you playing the right sport?
But I like what Brendan stated about was it you or was it Brendan that mentioned that the good thing about networking is that you learn. Because of networking, you're able to expand or
Correct,
actually
that's what I said.
expand your
That's what I
knowledge
said,
and stuff.
because-
And I love networking because
But
it's
is
the
that
exact reason.
networking or is that being around the right circles? Because networking can be very transactional and, hey, mate, what do you do? And you go, I do this, and go, cool,
Oh,
we should
no.
exchange details. Or is it like I'm professionally, like
No.
with jiu-jitsu, where it's like I'm around skilled people who are putting in effort?
I think it's about putting yourself in the right place to network
Yeah,
with right
yes.
people.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it's
that's what I
like a
mean.
collegiate environment where you're all sort of solving into the
Yeah.
same...
Yeah, because you could
Yeah,
be
not
there.
not
and-
the actual act
you
of
could
I'm
be
going to go and network in a room, but actually meeting new
Yeah, 'cause
people,
you could
doing
be
different
there.
things.
Situation,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, but you could be there and
different.
not be speaking, like in the right room and not be speaking. So there's no networking happening, right? So there's got to be an element of exchange anyway. So
It's
I
both.
agree with. Yeah, I think it's both. I just don't think
Yeah,
it's intentionally.
Like, don't get me wrong, I actually
Speed
probably
networking.
network the least when I'm forced to network.
But you talk the most when you're around people.
But when I'm around people,
Yeah.
I'll be happily networking. So, for example, I never knew Anna thought of me in that way, right? But then
yes.
Nice.
First time.
well, not
No, I did say that you're pretty good at a lot
no,
of
you
things.
said,
yeah.
but obviously you've actually you have said a lot of those things before. My point being is, if you didn't put yourself in the room, if I didn't put myself in the room, and
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Anna, we didn't have any conversations, it wouldn't be network,
yeah.
right? But then you've got to put yourself in the room in the first place
Hmm.
and make yourself known to a certain extent. And it doesn't have to be. So I've been to plenty of events, and it doesn't have to be. You go in and think, I need something out of this.
True.
That's what it
True.
is. So that's where what Ed's saying. It's the intentional kind of speed networking thing where you're trying to get something out of it. I think that's not what we're talking
No.
about. We're
People see you
talking about
coming a mile off. It's like you're just
And I
here
wouldn't
to-
want that.
be in the
right?
right
Yeah.
room and be willing to have a conversation.
Exactly.
Which is slightly different. And if you get nothing, you get nothing. But you'll more than likely get something.
Correct. Even
there's
if
an
that's
exchange.
it's still about human relationships, right? Like human interaction.
Yeah.
And what I've realized that's where we're moving away from now. We lack human interaction. We probably my generation and older probably less so, but the
younger
more we
generation.
progress in what world, the less human to human interaction we're getting, right? In terms of physical.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I was speaking to my partner, she's like, "Why can't you do all your job online?" Because I said, "I don't want to." Like I can. I do digital marketing. I could do my job online.
I could do it.
I could,
But want to.
but then I don't want to.
No,
right?
no, 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 no.
No. No.
I shan't.
I shan't do my work.
If there's no more human interaction, there's no trust and respect between people. What do we have left?
How about you guys? What's the importance of hobbying? I mean, you probably answered it that you found that music was nice until you made it as work. Do you want to develop?
I
it
think
now?
I personally strongly believe you always need something.
as a hobby.
That's not. No, I say strongly believe. I think it's important for mental health and for just physical health to have something that's not just purely focused on finance, financial goals
But
or career goals.
Can you squeeze the drive of not having something into a measurement of time, let's say 5 years, and then be looking
You could. You could.
Could you do it that way?
You could. So like you could be like, you know what? For the next 3-4 years, I'm just going all in.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's sustainable for
Or
life.
healthy.
I don't think it's necessarily healthy. I don't think it's sustainable. I think at some point, so for example, even you, Anna, you have those times where you get your endorphins and you do something fun. Like you said to me the other day, like, I'm going to go drifting. Great,
Yes.
Right? So that's
Yeah.
great because you're still getting it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
45 minutes.
And
Look at
it's
the
45
time.
minutes. You still,
45 minutes. to
you're
get
having
me
a great
going.
time for 45 minutes.
Just
Yeah.
spike those endorphins.
And
Yeah.
for you,
Give me
it's
back.
raving and partying. You're going to have a spike in endorphins when you do that. So you've got downtime.
Well, I'm getting music.
You're getting music,
I'm getting
which is what
music.
you
It's what I love.
love, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't have that and it's just about work and nothing else,
There is-
To be fair, on-
Alex Hormozis says it that he works, and then when his body tells him to stop.
Yeah, it's the body.
And he watches Netflix and he just binges off it and then they go back again to work.
And
So
that's-
then if you listen to your body, I suppose it's this very the same. If I listen to my body, okay, I know that, okay, this is, I'm being taken to my limits when it comes to stress. I need drifting. I need something else combat that.
Yeah.
So
Bring
effectively,
some sanity to me.
effectively, it happens, and sometimes it happens naturally because your body tells you if you listen to your body's rhythm.
Mm.
And then the other thing is, what I was going to say was, when I'm feeling a specific way, I just put on music whilst I'm traveling or whilst it's in the background. So I get fed while I'm working. So somewhere
getting
along
fed
the line,
energy,
the
yeah.
energy gets fed, and it's like a loop back. It's a feedback system.
Because, we spoke about lack of sleep, right? And I say, for me, I'm happy to have lack of sleep as long as what I've done is worth it, for example. So, like, last night, I called Anna at 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, and the night before.
Yeah, and the night before. I don't sleep much either, right? So, I'm not here to preach about sleep 9 hours a day. But at the same time, what I've done prior to that, for the reason I've fallen asleep late, is generally productive for me. So yesterday, I was playing sport. And I play sport from 10:30 p.m. till 12:30 midnight, right?
It's a long time.
It is a long time,
of time
but I loved
wasted.
it. And I needed it because I had a really, I'd say stressful. It's just a painful day of doing something I don't want to do, right? And then I needed that to break myself out of it.
Balance it out.
Balance it. It's all, I think for me, it's all about balance. And the sleep thing, it comes as a byproduct of that.
For sure.
So sometimes it may be work. So I've been building an office. So I've been also sleeping at midnight because I want to have a space for myself to be productive.
And sooner or later, your body's going to tell you, nah,
Enough.
Yes.
it's just going to
Too
fold.
fair, today was one of those days I woke up and I thought, I got to go to this podcast.
So did I.
And I love you guys, right? And I love these conversations.
I just don't like traveling.
I don't like traveling, right? And I thought I'm going to have to go, but it's a bit different for you. You have to take public transport. At least I get in my car and listen to my music, which feeds me, right?
Feeds you, yeah.
But then I'm there, I'm going to park, and then I've parked miles away because I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to spend stupid money on parking here.
Hence the reason why I take public transport.
But I think what I've taken away from it is that regardless of how successful and how driven you are as an individual, balance in life is still key. And I'm not talking about work-life balance that everyone talks about. I'm just talking about having something to offset your energy from just the constant graft. And I think the message that I want us to send to people is that no matter how successful you're going to be or want to be, it's still important to do things you love and have your core values with you, regardless of what that is.
Not being poor.
That was beautiful. I think we end there.